Welcome in, everybody, to a very special episode of Bad Movies Rule, and we are here with a very special guest. She's killed birds with coat hangers, fought zombies off with her OnStar boyfriend, and is sowing chaos currently as the demon warlock Tyranny for Critical Role. It is Whitney Moore. Welcome to the show.
Wow, what an intro. Thanks for having me, lads.
We like to get things hype right off the bat, keep that energy going. In fact, I think, we're going to talk about your movie career, starting all the way from Birdemic till now, doing things like This Smashing Machine, which is awesome. But before we get into all of that, I saw the poster for See You Next Tuesday, and I need to know if I need to hire an attorney, because how did you get a picture of Bob's ass without his permission?
I snuck into your house and I waxed your ass, and I'm surprised you didn't wake up. And I took the picture.
All right, we'll let it slide this one.
God bless you for that. Thank you.
We're going through, I was doing some research and stuff, and Bob says to me, okay, how'd they come up with the greatest poster in the history of movies ever? And I just...
Thank you.
I know it's not out yet, and you've shot it, so I don't know how much you can share, but I think I need a little bit of context for the horse marionette on somebody's backside.
You know what's so funny is that was the first imagery. So this is a short that I wrote, and it was the first image that came to my mind. And I was like, I want to build something around that because I love the imagery of it, of a puppet horse doing dressage on a lady's butt. And
who would?
Yeah, I mean, as with all shorts or things that I have made, it's just because having to wait by Hollywood's rules is sometimes frustrating, and it's way more fun to go out and make shit with your friends. And I wanted to make something featuring my hilarious friend Steve Zaragoza, so I wrote a short sort of for him to be a clown in, and for me to be a horrible bitch in. And we're wrapped, and it's being edited right now, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
Yeah, so when can we, is there a arrival date, or is it one of those things that's a fluid kind of a, because I know how this goes, who knows?
Yeah, you guys know now's the part where it's like, okay, I'm frame fucking, I'm looking at every single like every take, and then it has to go to color and get a score, and then hopefully do the festival circuit. We're hoping. Right. So probably in like 10 years.
10 years. All right. So coming 2036. See you next Tuesday. We're excited about that. Awesome. And then, just because the thing is wrapped doesn't mean there's not a need, right? So if people want to help out with post-production, is there somewhere they can go to do that?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. We crowdfunded most of it, not through any of the normal websites. We would just set up a website. It's called SteveYouNextWhitney.com. Those who know Steve Zaragoza is an incredibly funny internet lad, and so he did a great job fundraising with like his side of the internet, and that would be you are absolutely right, festival fees. Editing, like all the budget comes in now.
Snacks,
so awesome,
right? Yeah, late night snacks for editing. I get it. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, look, just want to dive backwards a little bit. You got your start at what's kind of understatement to say you got your start in B movies, maybe one of the biggest B movies of all time. And what's great about you is you've embraced that, right? You haven't hid from the fact that you've got this earlier career in B movies. And we also talk about bad movies on our show. And so I'm curious what you think as someone that has been, like we talked about, in zombie movies and Birdemic 1 and 2 and those types of films. What do you think are the quintessential ingredients that makes a movie that's bad memorable versus there's tons of bad movies that are just forgotten to time forever, right?
That is such a good question. I mean, it has to be passion. I think that's the thing. I've been saying this. I've been talking a lot about bad movies lately. I think that the difference, I don't believe in bad versus good. I believe in inspired or uninspired. And I think that what people love about Birdemic is that it is a man's dream. It is you can see it take place. And I think that that's the thing with, as a lover of B horror and B cinema also, I think that that's the thing that stands out is you see the fun, you see the dream, and you can't not get on board with that.
Yeah. I always say the same thing. I say there's movies that are made clearly to be bad on purpose, And I always have a harder time having a lot of fun with those. But when it's a movie that there's a certain amount of sincerity that the person was maybe feeling they were making something really important and it just maybe, didn't quite come together, but there's still that.
Sincerity is a huge component. That's a really good way to put that. Because I also have, post Birdemic, there was, there's the Sharknadoes of the world where it feels like, okay, this is like, I like camp, but there is a winking at the camera where you're like, oh, this doesn't feel fully sincere. And I think that's a big part of the charm.
Awesome. And I think also the other thing I like about, and I don't want to get your take on this, about low budget or even in our case, micro budget films that we've worked on. And I think it was Ryan Reynolds I heard say this, that too much time and too much money is the enemy of creativity, right? And that often you see these big budget projects and they'll just throw more money at the problem, right? We'll fix it that way. But what is it about not having a lot? And now that you've directed something, maybe not having every dime or every dollar or all the time you wanted, how is that a positive for creativity in making a bad movie?
I mean, as a person with ADHD, I feel like I do my best work when the firing squad is loading their rifles. When it is time, when we're on a time crunch, I'm sure many can relate. I also think that I have done my best work when it has been self-contained. I wrote See You Next Tuesday in 3 days. I wrote Palm Swings, my other short, in 3 days, and then shot it 2 weeks later. I think that the more time you have to belabor something, it's honestly, you will not find this relatable, I am guessing, but it's like doing your makeup. If you are getting ready for a party and you just get in there and you're like, all right, I'm ready, I'm good to go, you have fun, and then you look great. But if you have an extra hour to like really belabor the eyeliner, you will come out a damn mess. And it's because you're overthinking it. It's because you're spending too much time and you're not enjoying the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because
making movies is exactly like doing your makeup is the takeaway.
I'm gonna use that from now on.
Yeah, please. There's all kinds of things that some great moments that if we had prepared more, I don't think they would have gone as well. Yeah. He accidentally went through the windshield of a car shooting a movie called Psycho Hiker. And if you guys had any time or money, that definitely would have happened. But it's like the best shot in the movie. Him accidentally getting run over.
Oh yeah, it was like 12 years ago. We were on guerrilla filmmaking. We were on a high, like this was an abandoned country road.
We were not supposed to be there.
Not supposed to be there, of course. And they're just like, all right, we're gonna pull up and slow down, and then you're just gonna kind of like fall on the windshield. I'm like, on the hood of the car. So they kept pulling up nice and slow, a couple miles an hour, and I just fall. And they didn't like it, so they were like, without saying a word to me, now the car is coming very fast, like maybe like 10, 15 miles an hour. I'm like, well, this is gonna suck. So I literally just kind of leaped as high as I could, and I landed right into the windshield.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point too, is like there is at a certain level of money, you have to do things like obey the law and get insurance. And unfortunately, that can be a damper of the creative process sometimes. Occasionally, you do your best work when you were just doing guerrilla style shit with your friends and risking your life. Yeah. I don't recommend it officially on record. I don't recommend. No. Get permits.
Oh yeah.
No, the opinions of Bad Movies Rule are not the opinions of Whitney Moore, and I want to make that clear right now. I will ask you though, in all your time doing movies, have there been moments like that where you sat there and seen something happen? And you go, "This shouldn't be happening."
Every horror movie I've ever done. I mean, in terms of the stuff that I have been responsible for, it's been pretty self-contained. I have not I've not made a horror film yet. I certainly intend to, but those are the ones where I think people push the boundaries of what is safe and what isn't. Not to mention there's like the whole, it's overnight shoots, everyone is sleep deprived, you're generally on a huge time crunch, but then you're doing things like stunts, you're doing things that involve violence, and I feel like pretty much every time I've done a horror movie, there's been something where it's like, this isn't safe, but you know what? We really want this to work, and so let's just go for it. No major. I'm trying to knock on wood somewhere. No major injuries anywhere in terms of sets that I've been a part of. So that's good.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, I do know that just from listening to other talks and interviews that you've done, that you had an interesting experience with your first director on Birdemic, to say the least. And so I don't know if you want to eliminate him because it's too easy for this question I'm about to ask you, you can, or if you want to use an example from that shoot, by all means, go for it. But I'm always curious whenever we talk to actors to ask them just about some of the worst pieces of direction they've ever gotten, and if there's anything that sticks out to you. And obviously don't name names, unless you're talking about Birdemic, and we all kind of know that one. But I'm interested to know if there's something that when you're sitting around with your actor friends, you're like, oh my gosh, can you believe this director said or did this?
It's so funny. I mean, I've been lucky to work with so many good directors post Birdemic, and it feels like low hanging fruit to mention it, but it is sort of like a calling card in terms of my own art history. There were so many. there were so many. I mean, I feel like with Birdemic, I don't know if I could. It's more like, can I think of a good piece of direction that I got? And the answer is no. But the one particularly funny one that we got was a love scene that got me a really low score on Wiki Feet, by the way, because my feet were dirty as fuck from walking around in the parking lot.
Also, just learned that Wiki Feet is a thing. Okay, I'm writing it down. Go ahead.
What the hell is Wiki Feet?
I don't know.
That's a task for you later, is to look into. In fact, look yourselves up.
Oh, if I have a rating on WikiFeed, I'm going to be so upset.
I'm generating one as we speak. There's a love scene, and there's sort of like a pan to like down my legs, and that was the first time we shot it, because we shot that scene several times for some reason. That one first weekend we had an AD who was like a really nice guy, and he ended up leaving for obvious reasons. But he acted as sort of like a de facto intimacy coordinator in that moment. And so he was trying to like coach James through the direction and also us through this action of having a love scene. And he was like, like, I remember, this is also like so corny sounding, but it's true. He was like, when I make love to my partner, we do it from our heads to toes and to our, from our hands to our feet. And James was like, yeah, do the feet. And that was the direction of like, do stuff with your foot, because that was the advice that he got and then interpreted through his own artistic
foot
lens.
Stuff was a direction that you got. Okay, got it.
Do the feet.
Interesting. That's
a t-shirt right there.
Well,
I happen to know a market for that.
Apparently there's a whole website that I was unaware of that caters to these things. Fantastic. All right. Well, that's definitely one that I can personally say I've never heard of before. So kudos to you. We watched, I'd seen it a long time ago. We watched Birdemic again last night, and I got to say, I just enjoyed it so much more, I think, than I did previously. We had as of yet, and I think we will now, we have not done it on our show because it was one of those, we get asked a lot, like, do Birdemic, do The Room, right? Is another like classic, bad movie. And it's always like, well, gosh, it's been done so many times. What new could we possibly have to say about The Room or about Birdemic or some of these classics? But then after watching it last night, I'm like, nah, we got to do this movie. We got dive bombing grenade birds that are just exploding on impact and people fighting with coat hangers. And it's just, and I've heard you say the coat hanger thing was a last minute, like we need something, grab whatever's in the closet. But when was the last time you watched Birdemic?
I showed my husband probably like a decade ago.
Okay.
I am due for it. And he was like, oh my God, you're literally a child. It's just such a, like, my, hello, Victoria's Secret. And I have a lot of friends who haven't seen it because I think that either the assumption is like, I don't want to, like talk about it, or it's just not something that like comes up a lot in my friends, but I do intend on having a movie in it because there's enough of my friends that haven't seen it. In fact, my dream is to organize sort of the running title is a first worst film fest where everybody shows their first bad thing, because I know that like Birdemic is one of 100 million. Mine just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But everybody has their, and I think that's kind of like what links, especially someone like you guys and your audience, with myself, is like, you guys know that it's actually not rare at all to have this type of movie under your belt. Pretty much anybody who's in film does, and I'm really interested in seeing what my friends Birdemic is.
That would be incredible. And I will tell you immediately, yes, we can relate, because our first movie I refused to release. So I won't even let it see the light of day. And
maybe you can premiere it if I ever do this.
I've been trying.
Well,
I've been trying to get him to put it on YouTube. He's still refusing.
Nope, will not. Sorry. Maybe for you, if you want to do that, I would consider it. But it's real bad.
I mean, worse than Birdemic though.
No. but Birdemic took a bigger swing than we did, and I respect that, right? Like, we were not trying to do CGI birds and whatnot, and so I respect that a lot. And in fact, in speaking to going back as an actor who has, I'm sure when you look back through your career, grown a lot, done a lot of different things, I heard an actor one time talking about how it's right when we say, it's a wrap, that I really is when I feel like I'm getting a handle on the character, and when I'm already done with it. And so oftentimes they wish they could go back. Is there a part or a scene in your career you're like, man, if I had a second crack at that, I know I could kill that much better than I did?
That's such a good question. I feel like it's everything. Like I feel like it's everything I've ever done. I'm like, because you're just, hopefully the idea is that you're constantly growing as an artist.
Yeah.
And so to revisit a character when you have more experience and more skill under your belt would be a dream for anything. Let me see if I can find something specific. Yeah. No, you know what? I don't really retread the past too often. I'm happy for everything that I've ever done. I'm like, yeah, that's, including Birdemic, is like, yeah, that's correct for my skill level at the time, and matches the quality of what we put out. So no regrets.
So let's fast forward now to present day. We've obviously gone over where you got your start, and I don't know if you can hear that, but we've got ambulances whipping by the shop here. Perfect. It's not coming through. Okay. So draw a line now. We've got Birdemic all through your career now to The Smashing Machine. How did that come about? How'd you book that job?
Oh my gosh. I was able to get an agent out in Albuquerque where a ton of film and TV shoots, and I am so grateful. I was like, I will be a local hire. I will fly my ass out for the right project. Yeah. And I got an audition through my agent, and it was one of the most unique audition experiences I've ever had, because they were very much like, hey, don't give this professional lighting, don't like use a mic, like make this really raw and natural. But the other part that was really interesting was they were like, okay, do 2 takes to one that's a little more improv heavy. And then also we need to see a clip of you talk about the last time you were truly happy and the last dream you had. And that's not something that you get prompted of, very, very often. And I really think that it was that got me the role. I was a big Safdie fan and still am. Mm-hmm. And my answer for the dream was, I was like, this is a real dream that I had. And I was like, I have this one locked and loaded. I think that it's going to really impress him, because I had a dream that I was moderating a panel at a cringe convention. And it was about post-irony cringe. And it was about like people who were sort of like kind of in the vein of, what we were talking about with like intentional bad movies. Yeah. I was like, oh, there's an entire industry of people who were like do cringe shit online for a gag. And that was the dream that I had. And I was like, Benny Safdie's going to be so impressed and think I'm so smart. And then the night before the audition, I had a dream that I was trying to make myself squirt outside of the log ride at Knott's Berry Farm. And I was like, that's it. That's the dream that I have to do because it's so funny and also like right in my head. So I don't know. I like to think that that's the thing that got me the job.
That's what got you the job. Let's just go with that. That's incredible. And brave also. Let's just say that. Very brave.
Thank you.
That you didn't just contrive some other, which I'm sure other people did, right? Just make up some dream that never happened and you just rolled with it.
I mean, hey, if you can't tell the truth in your audition, then you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, that's what I always tell people. Acting is just telling the truth, right? So
yeah,
hit your
acting
mark
is telling the truth about being a sex pervert at a theme park.
Exactly. You hit your mark and you tell the truth about what happened at Knott's Berry Farm. That's what you do. And I respect the hell out of that, Whitney. Okay. All right. Now that it's obviously a huge job, right? I mean, The Smashing Machine, that's a big movie with Benny Safdie and some big stars, right? So congratulations on that. If you look back now, and I know you don't like to retread the past, maybe we can look back into the past and you say, okay, this is where I started, this is where I am, not that this is where you're finishing, you're going on from here, right? But what are the one or two attributes, what are the things when you look back, you go, this is what got me to where I am? What about yourself got you through that?
Oh, delusion.
Yes, that's such a real answer. You have to be a little bit delusional.
Yeah, you can't, there is no way of succeeding in this impossible industry unless you trick yourself. It really is that. I mean, I am so lucky to have a great community of friends here in Los Angeles that I consider to be my family. And I think that without a really good support system, I would have left Los Angeles a long time ago. It can be a very isolating city if you don't have a great network of people. And in addition to that, just like grit, just being like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna keep going. And I think it was so funny having the attention that Birdemic did because I was so, I mean, not by anybody who really matters long term, but I got a lot of notes that I was like a bad actress, and it's like, okay, sure, I was 18 years old, like I was a little child, but okay, sure, yeah, I don't think that I was good in it, but being able to sort of step outside of that and being like, all right, that was, we're calling that the beginning of my film career. If I was just like, that's as good as it's gonna get, and I'm clearly a bad actress and like I should give up, then like, yeah, I shouldn't be in this industry. But if you step outside of yourself a little bit and be like, okay, there's room to grow, there's room to learn, and I want to be doing this and it makes me happy, then I think that's it. It's the love of the game, baby. Do
you think perseverance is as important, if not more important, than talent in the industry? Yeah. Big time.
I mean, if Birdemic is any indication.
Not to say you're not talented, but perseverance is big.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are so many people. I will never forget. There was an acting class that I did years ago, and one of the things that affected me the most that our teacher said was there will always be someone who is less talented than you who will get the job because they will work harder, and that is so true. Relying on your talent is a fast track to being bitter and miserable and leaving the art that you want to do, because you can't just wait around and wait for people to notice. You have to be like, hey, look at my shit. Hey, look at me. Look at me. You gotta just keep going until you find somebody who appreciates the way that you tell stories, and you can't just be like, but I'm so good. Why hasn't anybody noticed yet? You'll get so bitter.
I think it's as much a war of attrition and than anything. Like I know so many people in the industry that I think quit too early, and if you just stay standing long enough, right, you stay up, that something's going to happen at some point eventually. Just through that, just stick around and keep going.
Yeah. Talent is actually incredibly easy to come by. There are so many talented people here, but there are also so many people who get in their own way constantly. And I think that is that's where the real work is.
Nice. That's awesome. So what's got you excited right now? I know you've got this short film coming out in 10 years, and that's a long time to wait. But, what when you get out of bed in the morning, what are you excited about these days?
Oh my gosh. Right now, I am so excited about Critical Role.
Yeah.
It's it's weird because like this Smashing Machine and then Crit Role kind of happened in the same year, and I can't tell which one is like a bigger deal to me because I'm a huge A24 fan, I'm a huge Safdie fan. I mean, it's obviously like the biggest thing I've ever done. But then a place like Critical Role, where it's not only, got a massive fan base, and I have been the critter hug is real. I have been so accepted, and people are so excited about what I'm doing, which is so rad. But it's also the fact that it is not a job that's like any other job I've ever had, because I am a writer and a performer, and you get to do both, but it's long form improv, but also you're rolling dice, and it's just like a completely new thing to me. And I mean, I've done actual play shows in the past, but Crit Role is definitely like the longest term, biggest property, and I'm just so. I think I wake up thinking about it. I'm having the best time. I'm having the like. It's crazy. It's a crazy experience.
It seems like that would be a high pressure kind of thing, but you seem effortless when you do it. So I think it's really impressive what you're doing there. And I'm new to Critical Role. It's existed for a long time. Bob, I know you don't, but I play a lot of D&D in my personal life before, and I DM'd some games, but somehow Critical Role had just like flown under the radar for me. And I'd start to hear about it, but I'm like, I just, the last thing I need is another thing to sink my time into because I'm so busy. But then just this last,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's so much. But then with 3, I started to get into it, and now with what you're doing, I just think it's awesome. So that's very, very cool. And work begets work, right? So who knows where this next thing's going to take you, whether it's Smashing Machine or Critical Role, onto the next thing. I'm excited to see what the next phase is going to be, and in 10 years when your short comes out, it's going to be awesome.
Thank you. Hopefully it means moving out of my studio apartment. That's my big goal for next year.
I do want to tell you a quick, very short story, and if it's not something you want to talk about, we don't have to, and I'll cut this out, okay?
I'm an open book.
Perfect. So we were on our Discord we have a Discord for our patrons, our Patreon people, that we discuss, the episodes and all the stuff going on. And so I went in the Discord when I found out we were going to be connecting and having an interview, and I was like, Whitney Moore is coming on the show. And they're like, oh, cool. And we're talking about like what we should talk about and stuff. And what they do is they do watch parties every night. They'll put on movies and watch them together as a community. And so they immediately start searching for stuff they can find of yours online to watch. And the first guy goes, hey, I found a short film she did and put Seed on in in the group chat. And there was a lot of people in there that, I mean, some of them were familiar, but a lot of people that were like, I'm not familiar with their work. And this is the first thing of yours they ever saw.
Good. You know what? I know that I said that I don't like to retread the past, but actually Seed is something that I would like to flesh out, because I did that for a 48-hour film festival that I threw together during the pandemic.
That was my question. Is how did that happen?
Very lo-fi, like truly done and edited in 2 days.
Yeah.
That is something that I would love to. I want to make the feature. I love the idea of a homunculus. I love the idea of a woman wanting a baby so bad she resorts to this desperate measure, and I think that bodily fluids are funny.
Hilarious. Hilarious. They're going to be so happy that I brought up Seed. They're like, you're not going to do it. I was like, I'll bring it up. I don't care.
Hell yeah. I had to go through a lot of iterations on how to make like how to make
believable. Yeah, right.
and I had a great time, and I think that, and also shout out to my friend Josh Ethier, who is a great editor on a lot of horror movies, who did the score for it. He laid down a very sick heavy metal track for it. But yeah, I want more stories about women being disgusting, and I intend to make them.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I know that you and Bob are fellow metalheads. I've dabbled. When did you get into metal? Like, how old were you when you really started listening and got into that kind of music?
I think I was a teenager. I mean, I remember discovering Rage Against the Machine when I was like 12 or 13 and being like, this is lighting me up. And I have primarily stayed in the sort of death metal, and doom metal and black metal sphere, but also Iron Maiden is one of my favorite bands. I love Merciful
Skeleton
Fate.
Witch.
Like, I just it's the only thing that comforts me sometimes. It's the only thing that makes me feel like my emotions. It's the only thing that feels bigger than my emotions sometimes.
Agreed.
And I think, and there was a study recently that was like metalheads are happier people, and I think it's because of the power of catharsis.
Is that true?
Ha!
All right, fine. I used to give him so hard. There's a bit of an age gap. I'm 8 years old. Bob and you are similar ages, and I'm about 8
You're
years
8 years old?
older than him. No, anyway, when he was about a teenager and I was in my early 20s and I'm upstairs, I could feel the whole floor of the house shaking from him blasting. What were you listening to back then?
Pantera, Metallica.
Yeah.
Those are basically my two gods.
Pantera and Godsmack and Metallica. 24/7.
It was great.
I wanted to jump off the roof of my own house, but then he ended up getting me into it. But it was just like, it's crazy. So I knew you guys would connect on that.
Cool.
Yeah,
shirt.
I just saw Gwar for the third time a couple weeks ago. Insane experience as always. There is one of the most electric concert going experiences. I think everybody should, even if you don't like metal, I think you should go to a Gwar show just because of the pageantry of it all.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Whitney. And guys out there, if you haven't yet, go see The Smashing Machine. It's available right now. You can rent it on demand, and keep your eyes open for See You Next Tuesday at some point. You can always go catch Whitney on Critical Role as Tyranny, the demon warlock, who just causing chaos over there. I love it.
She's trying.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, lads. Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Awesome.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.